Hey yo, what is up guys? My name is Justin. Welcome back to the channel. It has been a while, but today I have a brand new video for you guys. The 2019 iPad 10.2 inch version. It is the baseline iPad for this year, and it starts at $329 in the US and $429 in Canada for the 32GB version. I chose, as many should, to go with the 128GB version, as the 32GB version is just not enough storage for even the average user. This iPad has some major changes from the previous year's model, with one major change. Some minor changes include the larger screen size by 0.5 inches. The Touch ID is now first generation compared to last year's model that had the second generation, so it's a downgrade in that department for no reason. And this may have been a typo, as some people are pointing out online, but you know, Apple, sometimes they chuck in some old crap, so you never know. And last but not least, we have the inclusion of the Apple Smart Connector, so you're now able to connect the Smart Keyboard to this iPad. We still have the same 264 ppi as last year, as well as we have the first generation Apple Pencil support, and the usual Lightning port as every other iPad has except for the Pro models. Also coming from the previous generation, we have the same basic speakers and the same battery. Even though these sound like complaints, they aren't. They might not be upgrades from the last year's model, but they are welcome to this year's model, as they are still good things to have in an iPad and continue to make it last and be a functional device. The one complaint I do have about the specs, as do most people, is the fact that Apple decided to put in the same A10 processor that they had in the previous model into this iPad. This is so disappointing, as the chip is now 3 years old and first came out when the iPhone 7 came out back in 2016. One reason Apple is able to keep this iPad on the cheaper side is because of the older processor, so we can't expect them to put in their new A13 chip or even the A12, but the A11 would have been a decent incremental upgrade from the previous generation and would have made this iPad even a better deal. There's also still 2GB of RAM on this iPad, and once again we would have liked to see this be upgraded to 3GB, but that seems to be something you can only get if you pay the extra money to get for the iPad Air, iPad Mini, or iPad Pros. Luckily though, iOS doesn't need very much RAM to run on, so 2GB should be good enough for a device like this. Something new to all iPads that makes this iPad an especially good deal is the new iPad OS 13. This update includes a few new things for all iPads, but the two biggest things are the new filing system and desktop class browsing. These may seem to be minor things, but they used to be what separated iPads from even basic laptops. But now that iPadOS helps to fill some of those gaps, even this baseline iPad with the lower end specs can be seen as a laptop replacement for some. This is not going to replace your entire workstation, but it can replace most people's day-to-day laptop for just internet browsing, writing some Google Docs, and even sending some emails. This is especially the case now since there's the inclusion of the Smart Connector, allowing you to connect Apple's Smart Keyboard to this iPad. So far, my first impressions on this iPad are pretty good, and I'll be making some videos in the future about this iPad. I'll be making a full review as well as answering the question, can this iPad edit videos and photos? So many people are wondering if this iPad can do some basic or even professional creative work on a budget. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to hit the like button if you like this video. It really helps me out, especially with the YouTube algorithm. Also subscribe if you want to see some of those videos later on and you don't want to miss it. Make sure to comment something down below. Let me know what your thoughts on this iPad are and tell me what you want to see in later videos. Thanks so much for watching, and as always, peace guys. See ya.